students, welcome back to your biology class. I hope you all are fine and safe at home and are enjoying our online classes. So, keep revising your previous lectures through my videos. Let's continue this chapter 8, Structure and Function of Living Organism in Plants, that is day 6. So, let's come to the next slide. As you know, before we start with the chapter, we always discuss the learning outcome first. So after watching this video, what you will be able to explain, you will be able to identify different parts of a flower. A flower has different parts like sepal, petals, stamen and pistil. So you will be able to identify different parts. Next, you will be able to describe the structure of flower and state the role of each part. Means what role a sepal, petal, stamen and pistil they play in a flower. You will be able to describe that. Next, you will be able to draw the diagram of flower and will be able to label its part. And next, you will be able to explain the term pollination. Pollination means transfer of the pollen grains from anther to stigma. And last, you will be able to explain how this pollen grain they make the pollen tube. In last, you will be able to explain the and write the functions of a flower. So these are the learning outcomes. After watching this video, you will be able to explain all these topics. So coming to the next slide. So all of you must have seen the flowers. So we have very beautiful flowers in our surrounding, in our home, in our garden, in our park, on the roadside, and everywhere there are flowers. We can found them everywhere. So these are attractive in nature. Many of them they are very attractive. They are very appealing, and they give beautiful fragrance to us. Yeah. So, but have you ever thought why these flowers which we are required, why a plant required this flower, why these flowers are essential? So let's discuss why these are important part of a plant. So flower is a colorful, attractive and reproductive part. As I have asked you a question why it is an essential part of a plant. Why this flower is an essential part of a flower. So basically flower it is involved in reproduction. This flower after reproduction, after fertilization, it gets changes into, I'm writing here fertilization one more time. So after fertilization, this flower gets changes into fruit, and these fruit inside these fruit that we have this fruit is having the seeds. So basically, flower is essential because it is involved in the reproduction. It gives birth to the new plant. So basically, seeds after germination makes a new plant after germination. So that's why flower is an essential part. We have seen different flowers of different shape, different size and color, and they give some of them they give a very good fragrance. Coming to the next slide, we have to discuss the next common what are different parts of a flower. First is part which is the outer ring which is called sepal. You can see the bright colored structures in the flower that are called petals. Then the male flower is called as a stamen and the female flower is called as a pistil. So let's study one by one these structures in detail. Parts of flower. A flower consists of several rings or called whorls. So don't get confused. What are whorls? So whorls are the rings. So the first ring is the sepal, second ring is the petal, third which is the stamen and fourth is the pistil. So these are the parts of a flower. Now your first learning outcome is achieved. Now you are able to explain or now in a flower you are able to identify the different parts of a flower. Let's study the flower, its part one by one in detail. So you can see here the outermost ring. This is the first ring which is called as a sepal. So sepal is the outermost ring. It is the first ring. Okay, and it is green in color. You can see here it is green in color. So basically what is the function? What does this sepal plays? So sepal basically it protects the flower during the bud condition. Protects the flower during bud condition. Okay. This is the role of the sepal, the first ring which is called as the sepal and which is green in color. So you can see these, this is the sepal. Coming to the next ring, the next part, this is the petal. You can see these petals, these are the very brightly colored, and the second, it makes the second ring of a flower, and these are brightly colored. Many of the petals of in a flower, they are very fragmented or scented होती हैं. They give the beautiful fragrance, and it what role these petals they perform. So these petals basically it helps to attract the insects during pollination. During pollination, and also they give beautiful fragrance. They also used in making the perfume scented. They are scented and they are used to give make the perfumes also. Clear? Let's study in detail their headings. So sepal, it is the outermost ring, green in color. It provides protection to the bud before it blooms. And petal is the second ring, brightly colored, scented. And basically, what is the role? It attracts the insect uh, um, during pollination. It helps in pollination. So we are going to discuss pollination in further in detail. Pollination means transfer of pollen grains. So what are pollen grains that we will study in next slides. Okay. Transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma. So let's study the next slide. So now we are going to discuss the third ring, that is the stamen. Stamen is also called as the male part of a flower. So this stamen is basically it is a male part and makes the third ring of the flower. So this stamen is consist of two parts. Upper part is called as the anther. This is a bag-like structure which is called as a anther. Bag-like structure. And inside this anther are the pollen grains are there, which helps or take parts in the reproduction. And this lower part of the stamen is called as a filament. Clear? So next, let's discuss stamen in detail. Stamen is the third ring and is the male part of a plant. As I have already shown you earlier in the picture, a stamen has a bag-like structure. This bag-like structure is called as the anther, and it has a long tube-like structure. This is called as a filament. This anther, inside this anther are the pollen grains are there. So these pollen grains basically these pollen grains they take part in reproduction. They fertilize the with the female ovule, and finally they help in making the seeds. Clear? And this filament it provides support to the anther. Let's discuss the next part, that is the female part, which is also called the pistil or also called the carpel. This is the fourth ring in a flower, and basically it is consist of three parts. Top part is called stigma, this long tube. Afterward is called style, and last swollen portion is called as a ovary. This ovary later on, after fertilization, it changes into fruit, so it is also called as a future fruit. Clear? And inside the ovary, some bead-like structures are there. These bead-like structures are called ovules, which are the our future seeds. Means after fertilization, these ovules they are get converted into the seed. Let's study the next slide. So pistil, which is the carpel, which is the fourth ring, forms the fourth ring of the flower. It is a female part of a flower and consists of three parts. Topmost part is called as a stigma. Then long tube is called as a style, and the base swollen portion is called as the ovary. Inside this ovary are the some bead-like structures are there, and these bead-like structures are called as a ovule. Ovary, that is a future fruit, and ovule is a future seed. You have to keep this in mind. Ovary is our future fruit, and ovule is a future seed. So let's discuss our next slide. That is we are going to discuss the word pollination. Pollination, as I have you already explained you, pollination basically like petals which are brightly colored and they help to attract the insects so that these insects they are able to transfer the pollen grains. You can see here in the picture, first picture, see these pollen grains from the anther they are moving and they are falling on the stigma. So this process of transferring of pollen grains to the stigma from the anther to stigma. This is called as a pollination. Question comes in mind how these pollen grains they fall. So basically they fall what are different agents. So wind is there, birds are there, insects are there which help in transferring these pollen grains from anther to stigma. Here pollen grain in first picture is falling on the same flower. So such type of pollination is called as a self-pollination. This is not in your syllabus. And the pollen grain in the second picture they are falling from one flower to another flower. So this is called as a cross pollination as they are transferring from one flower to another. Now we are going to discuss next formation of the pollen tube. How this pollen tube is formed. See, whenever these pollen grain when they fall, you can see here these are the red. I'm indicating these red color. These are the pollen grains. Whenever they fall on the stigma, clear, they start germinating and they start making a tube. This tube is called as a pollen tube. This pollen tube it runs downwardly through the style and finally it moves and finally it enters the ovary. And after reaching the ovary, this pollen tube it finally get connected with the ovule. Clear? So in this way, pollen tube is formed. Let's see the slide. Next, pollen tube formation. As I have you already explained you, I am making one again the diagram. See here how pollen tube that is formed. So basically what happen when pollen grain they fall on the stigma, these pollen grains they get connected and start germinating and these pollen grain makes a tube. This tube is called as a pollen tube. Clear? So this pollen tube it moves downwardly towards the style and finally it reaches the ovary. So this is the ovary portion of a carpel or the pistil. Here What is there inside the ovary? Ovules are there. So these pollen tube, they get uh, move towards the ovule. They reach towards the ovule, and they, after their fusion with these pollen grain with the ovule, they make the seed. Clear? So stigma, it receives the pollen grains which germinate on it. Each pollen grain grow into a tube which is called as a pollen tube. Pollen tube, it grows downward. You see here they are moving this pollen tube that is moving downward and through the style, and finally it reaches the ovary. Clear? Ovary, it has a bead-like structures. That bead-like structures, these are called as, or a ball-like structures called ovule. So these pollen grains, these get fused with these ovule. So pollen grains, they get fused with the ovule and they make seeds. Okay, so this is the called fertilization. So next is the definition. Pollination, I have already explained you. Transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma is called as a pollination. Coming to the next slide, you can see here now we are going to discuss the term pedicel. Pedicel is means it is the stalk of a flower. Stalk of a flower is called as a pedicel. You can see here the long stalk to which these all parts, four parts are connected of a flower, they are connected. So this is called as a pedicel. And don't get confused, earlier we have discussed, in case of leaf we have discussed about the petiole. So petiole is the stalk of a leaf is called as a petiole, and stalk of a flower is called as a pedicel. Clear? You can see here one more point, it is not in your syllabus. Peduncle is the stem which is supporting all this flower, so that is called as a peduncle. I am writing over here, stem supporting all flowers, all flowers. This is called as a peduncle, but this is not in your syllabus. Okay, coming to the next slide. So this is a pedicel. Pedicel is a small stalk that attaches to the single flower or the inflorescence, or to the number of flowers. Inflorescence means arrangement of flowers on the stem. Okay, and basically what is the function of the pedicel? It supports the flower and keeps the flower in position. Coming to the next slide. So we have to draw a flower. So these are all different parts of the flower. Let's revise them one more time. First is the sepal, second is the petal, brightly colored. Third is the stamen, which is the male part having anther and filament, consists of two parts, and the fourth is the female ring, which is called pistil or carpel, and having, it is consist of three parts: stigma, style, and ovary. So this is the pedicel, all different parts of the flower which are attached to the uh, from the base, and this stalk to which it is attached, this is called as a pedicel. So let's start making the diagram. let's study the next slide. So next slide is the functions of the flower. We are going to discuss functions of flowers. You can see here in the diagram already we have discussed, like flower, it helps in reproduction, it helps after fertilization, it makes fruit, and inside the fruit is the seeds are there. So these seeds, they germinate to make a new plant. Next function, it helps in, these flowers help in pollination. Third, few flowers, they are used in as a spices, or they are used in making the medicine. Like you can see here, the clove, it's dried flower, they are used as a spice. So dried flower bud, that is used as a spices. Next, flowers, some flowers, their petals, they are used in making the perfumes. Next, in many cases, these flowers, they are used in decoration during birthday parties, during marriage hall, in banquet halls. Next, they are also used as the ornamental flowers in decorating homes, and also used in research studies, research work. Okay, so let's discuss the slide. So flowers, uh, first is the organ of reproduction in plants. It grows into fruits and seeds. Next, it grows in houses, garden, park, roadside for their brilliant color, fragrance, used for decoration. Non-flowering plants, they are also used as ornamental for decorating homes. Many flowers, they give perfumes. They help in making perfumes and or scent, like rose, jasmine, lavender. Clove is, as I have shown you the picture, its dried flower is used as a spice, also used in making medicine, and also flowers, they are used in the research work, so or research studies. So these are all the functions of the flower. So let's discuss the learning outcome. After this completion of this topic, students, now you are able to identify all the parts: sepal, petal, stamen, pistil. These are the parts of the flower, and you are able to explain all the role, the function of each part. Like sepal, they help in providing protection. Petals, which are brightly colored, also helps in pollination. Stamen as a male flower, and the pistil, which is a female flower, help in reproduction. You are now able to draw the diagram of flower, and also you will be able, now you are able to label it on the parts. Next, you are able to explain the term pollination now, and you are able to explain how this pollen tube is formed after fertilization, how these seeds are formed. Okay, now in last you are also able to explain all the functions of a flower. Thank you for watching this video. This is all about today's topic. Stay safe and always be connected with me through my videos. Thank you so much.